The majority of the socioeconomic spectrum and decisions are made by the middle class. Unfortunately, the large number of the middle class is so captivated by the concept of financial security that they are incapable of consciously weighing assets and liabilities. The assets or obligations owned by individuals, according to Robert Kiyosaki, a well-known author, are indicators that differentiate the various classes. In this video, I'll go through the 8 things that the middle class consider assets but aren't. But first, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever we add new videos like this. Now, let's begin. 8. Investing in jobs that you don't like as security to financial freedom. We may unintentionally invest in jobs that do not bring out the best in us, merely for the sake of hoping that if we stick to that bad work long enough, we will ultimately meet our life's breakthrough. This is all a deception to keep our thoughts occupied. The wealthy, on the other hand, have opposing ideologies. They stand out because they put their money on things that make them happy. Hadas Weiss, an anthropologist, argues that the wealthy keep getting wealthier due to their worldview. Investing in your talents, hobbies, and what you enjoy doing might lead to significant rewards. Nothing is unattainable if you have a well-crafted strategy and the necessary financial understanding. 7. Your home is your biggest liability. The truth is that owning a home is more of a liability than an asset. The well-known financial encyclopedia, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, has been commended for predicting the success of numerous tenacious entrepreneurs. Unlike the majority of people, the upper crust has kept track of their assets and liabilities. Liabilities include things like vehicles, houses, and television screens, because they do not bring money into your pocket, but rather take money from you. You'll be in a better position to avoid the mistakes that the majority of the middle class make after you master the art of handling your household finances like a pro. We should invest more in our financial understanding and money in general to prevent getting tangled up in such situations. When it comes to purchasing your ideal home, don't forget to seek expert financial guidance from professionals who can provide you with a better understanding of sensible and acceptable liabilities and assets. 6. The middle class spends first, then invests later. It would be wise to put money into investments as soon as possible so that you may start receiving cash flow from your assets. To properly manage your cash and keep to your priorities and plans, you must exercise extreme discipline. Follow the advice of professionals on how we use our earnings. The key is to stay consistent since over time, the small investments add up to something more substantial. Those who choose to spend first end up as slaves to their jobs since they must work to meet their constant needs. Your attitude toward money and investing has a significant impact on your social advancement. According to some stories, we are only worth what we keep after spending. This will elevate our thinking and put us on a path to moving from the middle to the upper class, or from the lower to the upper class. Spending after you've already invested is the key to success. It may take some time for you to notice the benefits, but you'll ultimately realize that the tip is quite beneficial. 5. Formal education. The middle class's preoccupation and ideology with education are concerning. Maybe because they believe that their investments in formal education define their wealth. However, if great grades were the key to building wealth, every summa cum laude graduate would be a multimillionaire. The wealthy understand that financial success has little to do with your ability to memorize facts from a textbook. Instead, they feel that learning certain skills, such as how to invest in your network with important people, will help them have a greater impact on their network. When compared to book smarts, street smarts have a better chance of making it. Consider some of the world's wealthiest people. They are illiterate. The majority of them are college dropouts who chose to pursue their passions rather than waste time in school. Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple, and Michael Dell, CEO of Dell Technologies, are 2 great examples. Universities are rapidly fading from relevance. Rather than taking out massive student loans that you won't be able to repay, try enrolling in an online course in your subject of interest to improve your abilities. 4. Getting rich is not a personal decision, but a matter of faith. Getting rich is seen as a game of chance and luck by the typical person. As a result, they are limited in both their thinking and their general effectiveness. Many middle-class people attribute their riches to their professional abilities, home ownership, and formal education, according to personal experience. This is a mindset that will leave us stuck in the middle for the rest of our lives. You're doomed if you can't adjust your mindset, and you'll only wonder how fortunate your upper-class peers are. You'll be one step closer to enjoying financial freedom if you accept responsibility for your situation. 3. The more the money, the worse the character. The middle class is constantly enslaved by the belief that money is the basis of all evil. Contrary to popular thinking, money can also bring out optimism and significantly alter the lives of individuals and families for generations. Unfortunately, most people associate tremendous wealth with vices such as greed, corruption, and despotism. However, if you become acquainted with wealthy persons, you will see that the truth behind this belief is that money is not the issue, but rather the personality. A person's actual character is only revealed when they have a lot of money. If you're greedy, you will become even greedier once you achieve financial freedom, and conversely. As a result, the goal is to purify our brains in order to modify our thinking. With money, your qualities would be highlighted more. As a result, you should make intelligent investments and learn to discriminate between humanism and poverty. 2. Saving money instead of investing. In comparison to high-class persons, the lower and middle classes are more comfortable taking smaller risks. People make the error of believing that by saving money, they have reached the ultimate aim of riches. The secret to prosperity, however, is not saving, but multiplying money. Money is popular among many people because it is utilized as a dynamic medium of exchange for commodities and services, and it circulates. As a result, rather than hoarding it, it should be doubled. Money is limited, hence there can never be enough, which is a widespread subconscious assumption among the middle class. As a result, many people are choosing to save rather than spend. The middle class has such a high level of trust in banks that they would rather leave their money in their accounts than put it in high-yielding investment opportunities. However, most of this money is subject to withholding tax, leaving you with a fraction of what you had originally saved. The standard in the banking sector is that banks use the money you save. Where do you believe banks acquire their money to fund loans? They almost certainly use your steward cash to fund investors with big ideas but little money. Unfortunately, this keeps the wealthy extremely wealthy, while the poor remain as destitute as they were yesterday. 1. Are white-collar jobs an ideal venture? The wealthy never try to climb the corporate ladder. Instead, they work to own it. The middle class feels that without a job and a paycheck at the end of the month, there is no chance to get ahead financially. They want to start a profession because they were informed that in order to get work, they needed to acquire good marks and enroll in college. Instead, the wealthy attempt to establish enterprises that will eventually provide jobs for the middle class. Regardless of how large your salary is at the end of the month, your employer most likely only spent approximately 10% of their billions to pay you that amount. The most bizarre aspect is that you're probably as excellent as or better than your employer at your skill, which is why they hired you. Consider what you could accomplish if you just dared to start something tiny. What kind of magnificence would you create? The lesson is straightforward. Everyone should step outside of their comfort zone. Be willing to take some risks, no matter how minor you believe they are. That's the first step toward financial independence and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned some usable wisdom today. If you did, you might want to consider subscribing to see more content like this. See you all in the next one.